Let's move on to main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Sam Neal, who writes, I haven't watched Batwoman only when her episode was on Crisis on Infinite Earths. Well, as you've probably heard, spoiler alert, CW has cast Warren Christie as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Part of me is happy that Batman is finally getting in the Arrowverse, and on the other half is worried that CW will give Batman the same treatment as Superman. What are your thoughts on this? Thanks, and bring on the filthy. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes and no. Yes and no. Now, yes, there have been a lot of reports flying around the last 24 hours that CW has cast Batman. CW has cast Batman. Well, that's sort of true in a way and sort of not. Okay, this comes to us from Screen Rant, who accurately point this out. Since Christie is only playing Tommy as Bruce Wayne, basic thing is this. Series finale Batwoman had a guy getting a disguise, and then you realize the disguise, the skin mask, makes him look just like Bruce Wayne. So really, it's not Batman. But anyway, since Christie is only playing Tommy as Bruce Wayne in O-Mouse, it should be noted that this isn't the Arrowverse's real Batman debuting in Batwoman. It's unclear how long Tommy will stay disguised as Bruce, but this particular cliffhanger will no doubt be resolved in Batwoman Season 2. As of this writing, it's not known whether the Batwoman writers intended for this particular arc to conclude in the original Season 1 finale or continue longer. Of course, like other CW shows, the Batwoman show had to cut its season a little bit short and not really end where they were originally planning on ending. So it should be made clear right now that what we don't have at the moment is Batman. Batman is not, as of this moment, brought into the CW universe. But if they ever do have Batman, then it's got to be this guy, because they're already saying that he's the one that's going to be Batman. Do I want CW bringing Batman into the CW verse? Hell no. Hell no, I don't want them doing that. Will they? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kind of believing they will. But I don't want them touching. I don't want the buffoons over there touching the iconic big three of the trinity of pantheon of gods of the DC universe. I don't want them touching Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And the reason why I don't want them touching those characters is because they have already shown a profound disrespect for those characters. Now, look, I won't go into the whole thing again because I've talked about it before, but you know, for those of you who haven't heard me discuss this before, in professional wrestling, in WWE, there is a term called jobber. And what a jobber is there to lose. They're not there to win matches. A jobber is a character whose job it is to go into the ring and get beat up to make the other wrestler they're in the ring with look good. That's the job of a jobber. Never win. They're there to get beat up and to make the other guy look good as they get pinned with their shoulders to the mat, 1, 2, 3, and go, oh, I got beat. I mean, that's the role of a jobber. CW has, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make the granddaddy of all superheroes a jobber. They turned Superman into a jobber on CW's Supergirl. They brought in Superman exclusively so he could be like a WWE wrestler to make Supergirl look good, so that they can constantly get involved in things where Supergirl is constantly shown to be the better of Superman. Wherein they get into a fight, Supergirl wins the fight. Whereas, you know, if there's a question about who's the protector of the earth, they even had, I'll never forgive them for this, Rob. They had this one scene where, you know, Superman was talking about leaving Earth. I don't know if you were on the show when we were talking about that. Superman was talking about leaving Earth. And the conversation was, you know, and Superman having to say, you know, the Earth doesn't need me. The Earth doesn't need Superman. They have you, Supergirl. You're the true hero of Earth. And listen, I get the role of jobbers. I do. I understand the role of jobbers. And I have no problem with comic book properties using other comic book characters to job for other comic book characters to put other characters over. And in principle of that, I have no problem. But you don't do that to Superman, Wonder Woman, or Batman. That is the holy untouchable three to me in the pantheon. And to turn them into jobbers, is the highest disrespect. You just don't do it. And what they have done with Supergirl, the Supergirl show has done over and over and over again, is constantly make Superman look out to be weak, make him look like a buffoon, make him look incompetent, all to make sure Supergirl gets over as the big hero to their show. And Rob, with that as the background, when somebody suggests to me bringing Batman onto the Batwoman show, oh, hell no. Hell no, I don't want them to do that, because there is no reason in the world to believe they won't do the exact same thing. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. But I've got no reason to believe that they won't bring in Batman just so he can get his ass kicked by Batwoman and go, "You're the real Gotham Knight. I'm unnecessary." Like that. You don't do that to Superman, Wonder Woman, or Batman. You do not do that to the holy trinity of superheroes. So no, I don't want them to do it. But then again, maybe they've learned their lesson from the way they treated Superman, right? Maybe the heads at CW have thought, you know what? We mishandled that Superman situation. There are other ways we could have put Supergirl over instead of, lowering Superman. Maybe they've learned their lesson. Maybe they're going to elevate Batwoman by elevating Batman in this show. And by the way, it needs to be pointed out that even though they brought in this actor who looks like Bruce Wayne, it's not technically Batman right now. So a lot of different mixed emotions on this, Rob. A lot of different mixed emotions. Anyway, you hear about this. What do you make of it right now?
Well, I mean, look, I think it was inevitable. At some point, they're going to have to bring Batman onto a Batwoman show. It's the obvious thing to do. But like you said, I am kind of tired of that attitude. Like, why bring these characters? I'll tell you something. To bring it back to Star Trek Picard. At the beginning of the Star Trek Picard series, when Picard returned to Starfleet Command, they had to have him put down by Starfleet admirals, and cadets didn't know who he was, things like that. And I'm like, why is that the tactic? Why is it, whatever happened to respect? And if Batwoman is Batwoman, let's hope that she reveres Bruce. I mean, they're family, right? In a way, or literally. And so why don't you respect that? I would like to see respect be paid. And we'll see. I just hope that they don't bring Bruce Wayne on at his own expense, because nobody wants to see that. And I think that's a cheap way. It's hard. I would like to see characters, like, I don't need to see an admiral say to Bruce Wayne or something, or Batwoman, sheer effing hubris. I don't need to see that. There's some people that have earned their right just because they're older. They've earned your respect 100 times over. And I don't see why it's this thing now to disrespect great characters. And I feel like kind of did that with Superman. And there was no reason they needed to turn Superman into a jobber. Supergirl could still revere Superman. It's still her show. But why do they have to do it? Why do they have to bring Superman on at his own expense? I don't like that. I think it sends a bad message, and it's something that of anybody on a superhero show, it should be younger superheroes revering their elders or revering the people. And I know people are going to come at me and go, well, there's a long tradition of like the Teen Titans having static with the Justice League. Okay, yeah, but then at the end of the day, the Teen Titans learn their place. So we'll also see.
But within the case of Teen Titans, like, that static was developed over years. Like,
right.
It's a result of complex relationships between Robin, whichever version of Robin we're dealing with, complex relationships between Robin and Batman. Complex relationships. That's where that comes from. But yeah, I don't know. So listen, I don't think there's actually a lot to worry about here, because as of right now, it's not actually Batman, although, Rob is absolutely 100% right. At some point, they're just going to go in that direction. Question here is, guys, what do you think about them taking that apparent first step in that direction of bringing Batman into that world? Jump down into the comments section below and let me know your thoughts. All right.